Hi, I'm Dennis Weiss. Welcome to our town. We're at the Eisenhower Presidential Library, Museum and Boyhood Home. Dawn Hammett, the Executive Director, good morning.
Good morning.
I have my Why Like Ike button on.
I have a different one.
That's new.
It is new.
It says Mamie on it.
I like Mamie.
Eisenhower.
I'm Team Mamie today.
That's very cool. Where can we get those?
You have to be really nice to Samantha Kenner.
Well, is there another way? Okay, so, but that's kind of a lead-in to all the stuff on the table today. We thought it would be fun, with 2018 being here, to do things we haven't done before.
Well, we have a lot going on. We thought we'd share.
Yeah, okay. So, the
It's
buffalo
my
I like
pal.
a lot.
It's my pal. Well, we thought that it would be a nice thing to do to share some of the items that we have in our museum shop with you and our guests.
I think that would be terrific. Some of them are actually historical items turned into an item we can own.
Right. We have. Well, let's start there.
Okay.
Shall we?
Yes, let's do.
This is a pet project of our museum shop manager.
Okay.
He thought it would be a good idea to have Ike's Oval Office desk plate made into something for you and your desk. So we know that Ike had this motto on his desk. It's just sort of a cardboard piece. It's at the Smithsonian now. That's how important it is. So we had it remade. Our gift shop manager had it remade.
Oh, very cool.
And there's this little piece that goes in it that tells you about the motto, Suaviter Moto, Fortiter and Re. We all had to learn Latin. Do you know what it means?
Yes, something about being gentle and strong.
Very good. Was that your Latin or your history?
No, that's just my history.
Okay, it's gently in manner, strongly in deed.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you think about Eisenhower and how he reacted and acted, that's the way he was. He was softly in manner, strongly in deed. So he didn't, chat up things. He was just going to do it.
That's very cool. I'm addicted to things that give insight into great leaders, right? So that sat on his desk. It was important to him. I think about the things on my desk, and that's not there. There are some things on my desk that are very important to me. The people who looked at them may not have a clue why it's on there, but it's very important to me. That's very significant that it was on Eisenhower's desk, and frankly, the phrase, it's a pretty significant statement on his whole leadership plan, isn't it?
I think it's real telltale on his leadership style.
Yeah.
I really do.
Very cool. And so people can buy that at the gift shop.
Yes. Yes. And
help us with our mission of telling the world about Dwight David Eisenhower and all the great things.
And you can learn something from it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this was a nice pet project, if you will.
That's very cool. So somebody is looking to, I think of the Astor Bank. Have you been in the new Astor Bank conference room? It is terrific. I think of that, and I think there are some desks there that would look very good with that desk plate on them.
They'll have to come visit us.
We'll drop that hint. I think we just did.
You're good at it.
I am. This is really, really fun. But anything with Dwight David Eisenhower, it's pretty easy to drop, is it not?
It is.
So before you go to the next one.
Uh-oh.
Yes. So you have been helping us in lots of ways. You're an executive director. You moved into town, got a house, a happy husband here. Bring him out, and he socializes with the folks like me. So. But I saw you passing on Dwight David Eisenhower's legacy to 2 more generations of Hammetts here just recently.
Oh, you were here, were you?
I was here, and your son, wife, grandchild. What did they think of Ike's place?
They were really impressed with it, but one of the things that I liked, they were here when we participated with the, I do the name wrong all the time.
Hope Liz. Let's Promote Hope.
Let's Promote Hope, that's right. And so my son, is a service member. He's in the Navy, and his wife is recently released from the Navy. I say the word wrong all the time. And so they were both here for the Let's Promote Hope event. and they got down and did the push-ups as well.
They did.
It was
that was
really
very cool.
I was pretty pleased about it.
In fact, he was just off to my left, and when Sam's dad said we're going to do 4 count, he went, oh.
He did.
I didn't go, you know why? Because I saved every ounce of energy I had to hope to make it through. I wasn't going to waste it on I knew it would be a little rough.
I dressed incorrectly. I was in a skirt.
Good choice.
And so I didn't do the push-ups.
Yeah. What a cool event.
It really
was. For me, it's 2 things. One, it's conversational. Conversing with the executive director of the Eisenhower Presidential Library is a rare treat. But for the viewers, there's a lot of that goes on. Your family came in. Lots of people in our community's family comes in. This is a center of Abilene to share. That is why we have 186,000 people a year come through here, because of just little things like that, and people want to come.
My nephew was in, several months ago actually, my nephew is in the Marines, and he was recently deployed. And so his leave right before deployment, he drove through Kansas, he drove here, and he was so excited to come see Eisenhower's birthplace and home and museum. He was really sweet.
Yeah, that's very cool. I can understand that from the service member's point of view, but from the community's point of view, it's pretty easy to just look past that. You see a new car and you don't know who those people are. But these are people coming to the Eisenhower Center for the purposes of what's in their heart. So, and it varies all over the place. So, glad to meet your family.
Oh, well, that was very sweet.
It was fun.
Very
all
sweet.
right. So, the gift shop has things for families who come to take back that are not just trinket things.
No.
We do have a lovely trinket thing, which is I really like here. But
he's my pal.
There's a lot of things that take Eisenhower back with you.
Right. We have several things that we commissioned, if you will, and this is one of our new pieces. It's a tie, 5-star tie. Can you see the 5-star design?
I can. I need one of those.
Do you wear a lot of blue?
I do. I only have 3 ties I like, and that could be number 4.
There are other options too. There's an I Like Ike option. There's the 5-star. There's I'm not sure what else actually, but I know those 2 off the top of my head. But you know we can't overlook Mamie.
No.
So we also have several scarves. This is Mamie Pink.
Oh my.
I need this one. So this is a Mamie, just Mamie Pink.
Sure.
We have a poppy one to commemorate World War I. There's a few in this sort of scarf style as well.
Okay. Great time of year to be buying a scarf. A little wrap around the old neck.
Yep.
Keep
Well, and
that
it's
chilly
pink for
wind away.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, very cool. We're well set for Valentine's Day with Mamie scarf then. All right.
I have to put this back or I'm gonna get in trouble.
You could do that around here, I've heard.
I'm not gonna do it right. I'll get in trouble anyway. And then one of the things that's really important in museum shops is books. We, generally speaking, museums sell a lot of books. So we brought 2 in today to talk about. This one is from the Vietnam War. It's a companion volume to the Ken Burns show that you were just talking about.
Right.
So this is clearly a nice big coffee table book with, wow, a curse word on that page. Photos and
I remember that photo.
Lots of information. This is important to us right now as we're commemorating Vietnam, and we have scheduled in April a Vietnam program. So we know that we'll have a panel speaker. We'll know that we'll have some other sort of commemorative moments for the Vietnam War.
You know, as I just watched some of the photos go by, I recognized almost all of them.
Did you?
Yeah. So there's not too many pleasant photos
No.
out of the Vietnam War. I think this is true for every generation, but this is our generation. We saw war in numbers and quantity and quality of pictures, both moving pictures, still pictures from the Vietnam War. Unprecedented amount of press were there.
And the speed at which you got the information.
And it was there tonight.
Right.
Right. I'm sure other generations felt the same about the radical changes of visibility, but for us it was Vietnam. And I think of Eisenhower saying, nobody hates war more than a soldier who has prosecuted one. Paraphrase, that's what he meant. So the Vietnam War book and pictures and Ken Burns documentary, and they're always great with pictures, but these pictures are tough.
They're very tough.
Yeah, these pictures are tough. Man's inhumanity to man. Go back to your desk plate over there, right? It's a great gift to be gentle in manner and strong in deed.
Well, and I'm reading Eisenhower's essays from after he left office. He wrote several essays for the Reader's Digest.
Okay.
And one of them is about the Vietnam War and the public backlash, if you will. And you know that Eisenhower was opposed to the war, to engaging in the war.
Right.
But I believe that once we were in a war, he was 100% a patriot, and we're going to do this.
Right.
So this essay is about how we, as a public, as a community who are opposing verbally, publicly, the war, what we're doing is we're giving power to our enemy.
Right.
And I hadn't actually thought of that in that manner. You know, I thought of it as the public outcry and the girl putting the daisies in the barrel of the rifle, and you know, I had that sort of an attitude towards it. But to read his words of, we have to watch what we're doing. We're giving them some power.
Dwight David Eisenhower, being from the country that we share, one of the greatest military minds in the world. Great president, but American president, right? So it is hard for Americans to look at free speech, wisdom of what you say, and everybody gets to judge what's right for them, and that's what free speech means. So I think, you know, even as I walked in this morning, you have the World War I exhibit up top, upstairs
in the library.
here. There are 4 posters right there who just said the same thing that you just did about communication, about rationing food, about the things that the citizenry can do to help the efforts of the war. That's a huge, it's always been a huge balancing act, and nobody really has a chance in their daily life today, unless you're engaged in the service, to think about that much. But you can come here and you can research whichever you want. And instead of just seeing what the talking heads on the news say today, we should be thinking about an event. Come
Have
here.
your own opinion, make your own opinion.
Create your own reality, a view of reality, because reality is, 6 million pages just over the hallway.
26 million.
Well,
You've
I can only
decreased
read 6.
You've decreased my collection in about a heartbeat.
Just World War II, I want to read 6 million. I think I'm going to have to live to be 100, because really, I haven't even got a retirement plan yet, and I need to retire so I can come here and read what I want to read.
You better retire quickly.
Yeah.
Soon.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a lot of pieces of paper.
I think I can keep 2 girls busy just bringing it and handing it to me.
There you go.
Okay. So you have another book, and it's a pretty exciting one as well.
I have another book. We spoke about our book club. We had book club recently.
Yes, we talked about
last
that
week,
last
maybe?
time.
We read an Ernest Haycock's book, which is one of Ike's favorite authors. I have to admit, I didn't read the book, but it was painfully obvious at the meeting.
Was it? You didn't get the Gold Star Award?
No,
for
I did
best
not.
brief?
That January date just really snuck up on me after the holidays.
It
and I
does
was
that to people in Kansas who are from New Orleans. January sneaks up and goes like that.
Slap. So this is the book for the next book club, which is in March, and this is All the King's Men.
You have already read that one.
More than once.
Yes.
More than once. And we'll be showing the movie the Sunday before book club for this one as well, the 1946, I believe, 1948 movie.
And I think last time we talked briefly about this, you have been self-volunteered to be the expert commentator on this.
Apparently. Huey
portion
Long,
of history
so
and
this
time.
is a fictionalized account, but Huey Long was a pretty colorful man.
Very colorful.
I'm gonna use colorful.
Yes, colorful is a good term to use. All right, so, but again, you are promoting things here that help people know more about us, all of us, and our common experience under the leadership of government in the United States of America, particularly through the eyes of Eisenhower.
Well, the point of this particular title is the Depression era. What did we do during the Depression era in general to make it through?
So, my folks went through the Depression era. My dad was born in 25, my mom was born in 25, and they were on the younger side of their family tree. So both of my parents' families have great length of Depression experience. I think everybody that watches probably, unless they're really young and haven't talked to Grandpa and Grandma, has the same story of some kind. But when you're here and you're looking at things through the eyes of President Eisenhower, and just a walk through the World War I exhibit gives you a look of where the Depression came from and what we had to do about it. So, but again, an unparalleled opportunity to learn things that you're not going to find on the morning show, afternoon show, or the evening show on TV.
Right, and Eisenhower and Mamie had a different view of the Depression, perhaps, because he was in the military.
Right.
And so, you know, he had to go and disperse the Bonus Men March in Washington, D.C.
Yes, sad times right there. So I'll bet you there's people who are going, what is that? Google it and then come here.
Yeah.
And you can sit down over an afternoon of research and
well, we have people
read.
you can talk to even.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I never let a negative go when a positive when sitting in this room. I sometimes generate the negative myself. America's recovery from things like the Depression never been done to the scale in other places, like the recovery of our economy. Depression, that's an economic term. So the recovery of the economy at a scale that put America from a player in the world to a superpower in the world was partially economic recovery. I mean, it's the driving force. I have a bent about economics. I mean, economics is one science I just love. But I can walk through your World War I exhibit up here, and I read those things. I can read them like we just discussed. And I noticed there was a poster out there with Hebrew on it this morning. So I can read them that way, but I also look at them as, okay, you know, what are the macroeconomic things that are happening here, and how has America reacted from that? Well, we've been so fortunate. We were fortunate to have Dwight David Eisenhower and leaders like him bring us through those things. But America as a country has done some great things from hard times.
I think, you know that Dwight didn't see action during World War I.
Yes, Camp Colt.
And he was a little disappointed about that. He really wanted to see action. But I think that perhaps the universe or God or whatever held him where he needed to be because we needed him later.
I think it's a great thought. We'll never know.
We'll never know?
Yeah, we might.
Well, that's in my heart.
Yeah, me too. But I agree with you. I think his frustration resulted in him being able to have that plate on his desk. It couldn't have been easy to be gentle in manner while he was in charge of a bunch of empty trucks with wooden things that look like guns, pretending to be tanks at Camp Colt, with his one tank at the end of that adventure. But my son would be quick to tell you that tank, the Renault from the French, started a line of thinking that American tanks quickly became very good.
That's something that we're sort of exploring through our exhibits, is the scientific revolution, if you will, that occurred during World War II and after World War II. That eventually led the United States to be the superpower.
Yeah. So many good things when you come here. No matter if you come to talk about Toy Buffalo bison, if you will, at the gift shop. And this thing is very cuddly, by the way. I suggest if you have a granddaughter, you should be making a trip to the old gift shop for that buffalo right there. But books, artifacts really that have been turned into things that we can own without the blue gloves or the white gloves. That's all promotes the mission, doesn't it?
Absolutely. We have a new book. It's a graphic novel of World War II. It's a specific story. I can't remember what it is suddenly, but now we have graphic novels for our young adult readers.
So quick segue here. One of the things I got very excited about sitting over on the couch when we were talking about 2018 and a museum reinvention is the bringing technology in that retells these stories you can read in paper and see in exhibits in a way that young people will just latch onto. So exciting to take this message to the next generation.
Well, we're also trying to make sure that we're paying attention to different types of learners. So I keep saying that I'm a kinesthetic learner. I have to touch it, manipulate it, move it, and that helps me learn. I don't particularly listen, which I'm sure my teachers really hated.
Wow, that's good to know.
Yeah, I'm not a listener. I don't learn like that.
Yeah. I so appreciate the opportunity to come here. You're an awfully good interview because you're an awfully nice person to talk to. But both of us, aren't we made better because we're at Dwight David Eisenhower's place talking about him?
I agree.
Isn't that good and easy to do?
It's really easy to do.
It is good and easy to do. Well, Dave gave us a 2-minute warning about a minute and a half ago. So your question earlier, can we make it through this program today in good shape? We did.
We did.
And here we are at the end.
It's due to your professionalism alone.
Yes, and that buffalo. So thank you for the insight into the new things there at the museum gift shop, and including things to learn, to read, to grow your mind. Even this little buffalo, when the little granddaughter says, "Where did you get that, Grandpa?"
Kansas.
"I got it at the Dwight David Eisenhower Presidential Library Museum of Boyhood Home. Would you like to go back there next summer?" Yes, I would. Thanks for your time today.
Thanks.
Always great to see you.
I'm delighted you're here.
I'm Dennis Weiss. I work for Eagle Communications. This is Don Hammett, the Executive Director of the Eisenhower Presidential Library, Museum, and Boyhood Home. We had a great time with you today. Hoping you have a great day as well.